All right, welcome to the show, everybody. It's me, Hugh, and we are very happy to have Dr. Daryl Wolf, the Doc of Detox, on live from Dallas, Texas. Daryl, it's great to see you. Always good to see you. And what's crazy is you're on a flight to Toronto, or going to get on one, right?
That's right. I'm in the United Lounge right now, and I'm going to be flying to Toronto and then doing a full day called A Day with the Doc on Sunday. It's free, and people can register if they want. If they go to braveheartnation.com, and it's just north of the 401, and we're going to have about 100 to 150 people there. And we're going to be talking about some real issues and issues in your tissues. We're going to be talking about how healers can't heal, but they can set you up for healing. And the reality is most healers are setting people up and not delivering what they actually are supposed to. Well, if they were, then we wouldn't have so many people sick, would we, Hugh?
Well, speaking of sick, boy, I just saw something came up in my feed this morning about this bird flu.
Yeah, but the bird flu's not real, Hugh. Okay, first of all, let's talk about what a virus is. If anybody went to the dictionary and looked it up, they would see that it's toxin, poison in Greek, and that a virus isn't alive. It can't jump 1 inch or 6 feet. And remember, Fauci had to admit that it just came to him. He made it up, the whole 6-foot rule. So the reality is they can still bring out another virus, and the majority of the population is going to buy into it because people don't understand that you can program a human being to be a human doing and to be harvested. And that's it. And that's the truth. Let me tell you right now, 95 to 98% of the population has been duped and will remain duped.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much we want to go down that rabbit hole today, but I'm just saying now they're talking about this bird flu thing, and I agree. It's like you got the virus theory, germ theory, and then you got the terrain theory, which makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways. And but the medical establishment doesn't really want to look at that or question even the way that they are approaching the whole thing.
Well, big pharma doesn't want to look at it, Hugh.
There you go.
Okay, and the doctors and the nurses and everybody that works for the medical establishment, they have a chokehold on them, and you know that. If they deviate just slightly, it won't be good.
And we talked to a lot of doctors that got deplatformed or lost their licenses just because they were trying to help patients. So I got the disclaimer running, but we're talking about alternative approaches, and we're talking about you're talking about healers can't heal, and so let's dive into that.
And can I just say something?
For sure.
I'm not the alternative approach. I was here before medical system. They've only been here 120 years. Okay, the things that I do have been around for 10,000. Or maybe 20,000 years, Hugh. I am not the alternative, so I will always correct someone to let them know that, guess what? I'm not the new kid on the block. I'm just the kid that can be programmed into the alternative, the snake oil salesman, that's all.
That's right, because, if people look into it, they'll find out that the Rockefellers, they changed the whole approach to medicine by the medical establishment. So, and now they're trying to demonize things that people have been using to heal for thousands of years. And I guess...
Do you know Barbara O'Neill? Have you ever heard of Barbara O'Neill out of Australia?
No.
Well, she's a naturopathic doctor, and she's never allowed to practice in Australia again. And you know what they took her down for just last week or 2 weeks ago? Castor oil pack.
Castor oil
pack, using a castor oil pack on somebody, but it was a whole bunch of things. Let's put it this way. I'm not a naturopathic doctor, and thank God, because naturopathic doctor crossed to the other side. Okay, so just know that, they turned against themselves. All right. I have a doctor in natural medicine. I have a doctor in acupuncture, and you know what? I don't belong to anybody's committee, so there's no committee coming after me. Okay, let me see. It was about a year and a half ago, Marketplace came after me, and I'm coming to lecture in Toronto this Sunday, and they came on and did a show and said that 3 people died under my care, and they weren't even under my care. So the reality is that the media, the government, and remember, Marketplace is owned by CBC, and CBC gets 67% of their funding from taxpayers. Okay, all right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay, great. So healers can't heal, but okay. So you're coming to Toronto. You're going to be somewhere on Sunday, and we're going to give out that info. But what can people expect if they come and see you on Sunday? What are you going to be doing?
Well, let's talk about healers can't heal. Is that okay first?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. Okay, first of all, your spirit is everything. Everybody talks about energy because it's all about energy. Somebody who passes on, that human body does not have energy anymore. Someone that's sick hardly has any energy. Do you know that there are 1.4 volts in every cell, Hugh? Did you know that we have 50,000 cells? And that would mean that we have 700,000 volts in the human body. So that's a lot of volts, Hugh. And so everything is about electricity, and everything is about vibration, and everything is about frequency. So let's take a look at from where I come from. We use things like energy medicine, like a Cellsonic that has 25,000 volts that are put into a love harmonic that actually go into the body that will decalcify the mitochondria right at the cellular level. It will actually shut down stage 3 and 4 inflammation from a pulse, because everything is frequency. If I can give you a little example, okay, why are people eating themselves to death? Well, because...
Sorry.
Sorry, bud.
Computer malfunction. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought that was a meow. Okay, so anyways, so what was I just going to say here? Yes, so why are people overweight? Well, they're not overweight. They're overtoxic. So there's no such thing as overweight. You're overtoxic. And why are they overtoxic? Well, because they eat foods that are empty, low vibrational foods. If you got the right frequency in, it turns your appetite off. Okay, so I'm going to tell you something right now. I have a gentleman that I'm working with and his wife, and I will be visiting them when I come to Toronto, and he has kidney disease. Okay, all right? And he was basically eating himself to death. Okay? And now we have him on just vegetable juices, we have him blended drinks, and we have him on just the fresh and the raw, like a whole plant-based keto diet that is in my book that people can get. It's free, pdgfree.com. This will be the most important health book that they'll ever read in their life. I give them everything, 40 years of my work, right from an eye infection to a nose infection to how to do coffee enemas, the whole thing. But anyways, so now he's drinking organic juice. He's eating whole plant-based. And guess what? He's only eating one time a day. His appetite has been shut down, okay? So now his appetite is shut down. So the reason why is because everything's a frequency. When you take a supplement, when you drink something, when you eat something, if it doesn't have any electrical current in it, okay, or a frequency high enough, it will not do what you need. So let's say that you come to me, Hugh, and you've got some kind of autoimmune disease, okay, all right?
Right.
Now, if you came to me with an autoimmune disease, and whether you want to believe this or not, majority of people that go to see doctors aren't actually going to get healed. They're going there to get confirmed that they can't be healed. Okay?
And that's a psychological. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah.
Well, it's a fact. So, but if you came and you said, this is it, okay, I have had enough of pain and suffering, because you may not know this, but you run a suffering program. Your wife does, your children do, everybody does to a certain degree, because that's how we've been enslaved on this planet. You know, pain and suffering is the way to the Lord. Pain and suffering. I suffer today, I get what I want tomorrow. I don't believe any of that philosophy. I don't even teach that. So the reality is that everything is a frequency. So how you view your life, how you view yourself. Okay, what are the main prominent dominant thoughts that you have? How high frequency are they? Because guess what? Thoughts create electricity, and thoughts will steal electricity. Do you remember when you had guilt? Do you remember when you had anger? Did that energize you, or did that drain you? So understand what they're trying to do today. Is they're trying to get the whole world full of anger and depression, and because they feed off our energy. And whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. That's the reality. And just know this, people will go to medical doctors that aren't in health. They're not even in health. They have nothing to do with health. but meanwhile the majority go there. So they're taking drugs that have a very low vibration. So those drugs are actually stealing the energy, but it does numb them out, causes a gut-brain disconnection, so they don't even feel anymore. Mm-hmm. So the reality is this. I'm telling you right now, if people come to me, we are going to use the highest vibrational food, drink. We're going to use the most advanced energy medicine that actually puts in frequencies that will actually repair the mitochondria, which create the ATP, that create the energy. We can actually decalcify the joints. We can decalcify the muscles in the body. We can get the calcium back into the bones. We can get the scar tissue to be beautiful, live, connective tissue again. And this is the biggest threat to the medical system, is somebody that can actually do that. Because what people don't get is, it's all about the drugs, it's all about the surgery, it's all about the programming. And I'm going to tell you right now that 97% of all surgery does not have to be done. You can reverse 97% of it. And if you created the disease on an unconscious level, you can get rid of it on a conscious level when you have proper strategy and you're off the hook of being like a failure, a sinner to the world, to yourself, to your family.
And that's what, people really need to deal with it at that level, because if they don't, and how many times have we seen somebody goes in, they've got some problem, they get the surgery or whatever, then they come back out, and then since they haven't corrected the underlying problem, they start to get ill again, often the same kind of illness.
People that are getting ill are actually people that are the body trying to get well. So that's the first thing. Nobody gets ill. The body is trying to get well. And the reality is when you get laid up in bed, your body's going, you have taken this body and used it like a Visa card, made no payments. Now you get to bed and you rest and you think about this, because you've got 50 trillion cells on fire, okay? You infected them, now you inflamed them, now you're pulling calcium into the cells, you're reducing the oxygen, and if you reduce the oxygen by 35% for more than 3 days, that's mutation, and they call it cancer, and I call it stage 4 inflammation. Mm-hmm. Okay? So remember, you come to me, I'm not going to bring you hope. I'm going to bring you faith, and I'm going to bring you courage. Hope doesn't float. I hope I get well. There's no hoping. We're going to do this. Everybody has been sold the package that the human body is not amazing, that it cannot heal. And the reality is I create the frequency, the vibration. You have to accept it. You have to allow it and believe that you deserve it. And then once you get that frequency, that vibration that I'm trying to create, that higher vibration frequency, if you would own it, okay, the longer you own it and the more that you do these things that I ask you to do, the more you implement it, now it becomes a prominent dominant thought, and it pushes the other prominent dominant thoughts out of your memory bank that actually caused the disease in the first place, because there are no diseases. They're just being out of alignment. If you realized this, that the spirit is indestructible, it's timeless, okay? And if you realize that you need to feed your spirit with high vibrational frequency, and that would be people, that would be food, that would be drink, the things that you do, the way you speak, okay? What you focus on in your life, okay? What you need to mind your own business. And if you mind your own business, you can have the most beautiful life here, even though they're out harvesting everyone and creating wars and trying to create inflation, which is actually another form of taxation, and they blah, 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 blah. Mind your own business. And I'm telling you that I teach people that they can stay healthy, wealthy, okay, and abundant on all levels when they know how to create a perfect day from the moment they rise until they close their eyes on an emotional and physical level.
So that's interesting. I mean, you're talking about, healers don't heal. And on the other hand, the patients are coming in, and instead of, because you mentioned, often they just want to get it confirmed that they can't be healed.
Well, that's true.
What's going on there? How do you deal with a patient like that comes in and to see you?
Well, if I think they're open to it, I'm going to actually do some subconscious work with them and show them the program they're running. Okay? Mm-hmm. Okay? Because I'm going to show them that somebody who eats like they do someone else who eats like they do doesn't have this disease. Let me tell you, it starts off in the invisible, in the emotional, because it's called energy in motion. That's what emotion stands for, energy in motion. That's the E. And depending on how you perceive things, your perception of things will depend on how they're going to look, how you're going to look, how you're going to feel. You have to understand that every physical situation in this world, everyone, especially the human body, is an end result, okay, of the psychological. The psychological rules the biological. So here, let's take it. I have an image that creates a thought. The thought creates an emotion. The emotion could be negative or it could be positive. Positive is a higher frequency, negative is a lower frequency. If I keep on having a lower frequency vibration, which, hey, listen, Hugh, it doesn't matter what goes on today. I'm going to have the greatest day of my life. It doesn't matter how many wars. It doesn't matter what they say, what's coming, the end of the world scenario. There's not enough water when there's been the same amount of water on the planet since the beginning of time. There's not enough room for people when we know that we could have not 8 billion, we could have 80 billion people on this planet. It wouldn't be. And we know there's no such thing as climate change. The carbon thereafter is actually us. But you can't tell that to the majority of the population because they're locked in fear. Now, fear, where does that vibrate? That vibrates, if we were looking at a percentage level, that's down around 30%. You can't stay there. The longer you stay there, the more that you alter chemistry in the body. Because remember what I said, image creates thought. Thought creates emotion. Emotion will create a frequency. And then that frequency, depending if it's negative, will dump adrenaline and cortisol, or if it's positive, it'll dump dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins. And seeing that most of the people live on fear, they're looking for a rush. People love drugs. They love alcohol. They love toking. They love smoking because they're always trying to alter their personality because when they were younger, they were told they weren't good enough for themselves or anyone else. Well, shit, when I came here, I was a little spirit being. And then guess what? When I started to walk and talk like them, they didn't realize it. I got punished for it. And then I realized that love was not unconditional. It was conditional. And guess what? I'm going to tell you, Bruce Lipton?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I admire him, but he says one thing. He says from 0 to 7, there's no filters. That everything that happens, you take that on as that's the way life is. And he says that's because you're trying to learn all the rules that are going on in the family, in the world. And I'm going to tell you, I don't believe that. I believe the brain was altered. And from 0 to 7, we are totally programmed and brainwashed to become little robots. So then we go off to a governmental school and we become mental. Okay, so by the time we're out of high school, we don't even know how to feed ourselves. We don't know how to love ourselves. We don't even know. So how are we going to do that for a child? Or how are we going to do that for another human being? And then when we get together with our so-called lover, we get married or we come together with someone and become a couple, you know what? I'll feel your heart, you feel my heart. And that runs out within 1 to 2 years. And then you're struggling with each other because you didn't realize that the name of the game was unconditional love for yourself and shining that light on each other and focusing on the spirit, which is indestructible. And the body is destructible when you are in an unconscious state in your subconscious and you're not the one that put the programs in there because the subconscious is just a bloody computer. And we had programs shoved into us from 0 to 7. And guess what, Hugh? I didn't say this. This is actually a stat. 70 to 90% of the programs that we run, okay, every day, okay, are killing us. And we run the same 70 to 90,000 programs every day. And if you're not going to change your programs, if you're not going to change your beliefs, if you're not going to change the way that the world has programmed you to look, then you are hurting yourself and you're hurting others. You'll go to war with yourself. You'll go to war with your partners, your kids, and you won't even know it. Look at how most families, family first. Bullshit. Sorry, but bullshit. Most people are just nasty and they don't even know it because everybody's nasty. And guess why? Because we're not allowed to be selfish enough to have a perfect day from the moment we rise until we close our eyes. We're not even allowed to love ourselves. We have to let someone else fill our heart. And how does that feel to be waiting on the side of the road for someone to fill up your tank? So you're never tankful. You got to do it yourself. You fill up your own heart, You focus on what you want in your life. And of course, let me tell you something. I've been teaching this for 40 years. And when somebody has unconditional love, do you think they hurt their family? No, because they're not hurting themselves. You can only give what you are. So when I say that somebody comes to me, we can create a healing vibration, environment, situation. But you have to feel that you deserve it and accept it and then take it in and then run it long enough and strong enough that it becomes a prominent program in your life. Because you do most of the things in your life unconsciously, and so do I. But I've taken the time to go in and put programs of unconditional love and care for myself. So now I have that for the world. I don't hate anyone. I will roar, but I won't do it for more than 30 seconds to a minute, and then I will just come right back to alignment. And alignment, okay, is not calming down. Alignment is going back up through the heart and feeding the spirit.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'm just thinking about, you know, you go to an allopathic doctor, you know, like a typical mainstream doctor, and they don't think in those terms at all. They're just thinking of, they like, okay, what do you got? What can I prescribe to you? They're not thinking about underlying causes. They're not thinking about frequency and that sort of thing.
Hugh, guess what? 100,000 people die every year from street drugs. 300,000 people die in North America from pharmaceutical medication. 300,000. Hugh, 100,000 from street drugs. 300,000 from medication given to you by a sanctioned medical doctor that is not a doctor. Doctor stands for teacher. Doctor stands for healer. They are physicians or they're surgeons. They are not doctors.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we had a naturopathic doctor on the show, and he was saying that he went into naturopathy because he was in pre-med at university. He was going to become a regular doctor. But he saw that most of his classmates, whatever, his peers, they were in it for the golf and the real estate. They weren't in it for, you know, healing people. And so he decided he just switched programs and went into that. So it's a rare thing to find a doctor that's actually a healer or has the healing mindset. So healer and doctor are two different things.
You're not going to have healer. You're not going to have healer if you don't understand that everything is based on frequency and vibration. So you're not going to have it. Just know that. It's all frequency. It's all vibration. Look at Einstein's work. Look at Nikola Tesla. Look at Reich. Look at anybody that was said to have the most intelligence when it comes to health and healing on this planet. Okay, it's not going to be a surgeon, and it's not going to be a pharmacist, and I'm not trying to put them down. Because guess what? Right now, the way the world is, most of the population, if they didn't have drugs and surgery, they would probably opt for suicide because of the pain. And the reality is when you run a program long enough and strong enough that disrespects and dishonors your body, it's going to rot out. And whether you believe this or not, people are rotting out. Let me tell you something. Go back and take a look at all the old medical textbooks. Go back 40 years. 40 years, you're going to find out that parasite cleansing was one of the biggest things. Now they don't talk about it at all. Did you ever come up to somebody and they had bad breath, Hugh?
Yeah.
Do you know what that is? You know, that's ammonia from the parasites' urine and feces. That's what bad breath is. Halitosis is the actual ammonia rising, because it's a gas, from the actual parasites. So how many parasites do you think are in this person? And most of them are in the large intestine, and they didn't swallow them. They were actually created within the body that's rotting out.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
That makes sense. Go.
Environment dictates everything. So when you said, well, you know, at the beginning, so they believe in the virus bacteria theory, and then there's another theory of the inner terrain. Well, guess what? The inner terrain creates everything. Listen here, my friend, I will never have a disease, because that means not at ease. That means not in alignment. I practice being in alignment. I stay connected to my breath. I know I'm breathing every moment. The present moment is the only place you can heal, is the only place you can create something new, and it's the only place that you can create enjoyment. Mm-hmm. If you're not in the present moment, you're in the past in regret. And if in the future, then you're in fear base. And the reality is I don't give a crap what the government says, what the medical system says, or anybody else that thinks they're authority, because they're not authority over me, and they're not authority over my patients or the people that follow me. And I'm telling you, whether you believe it or not, Hugh, I've got millions of people around the world that follow me now. I just built a 35 by 60 foot studio, and I'm going to be having some of the biggest people in health come to Extapa Zihuatanejo to shoot master classes, to do shows, to do whatever they want. I created it for that. And August the 8th, I have the world's most powerful, biggest health app coming out, and it's free to the world. The reality is, go ahead.
Well, what is that again that's coming out?
It's called, well, people can go there now and test drive it. It's called BHN app. That's Braveheart Nation. It's called Braveheart Nation, but it's BHN short, and then app.com, BHNapp.com, and they can go and test drive it. And this app, it has so much. It has so much. You can track the things you do. You can even look for someone that is a spirit partner. Not, I'm looking for a wife. I'm looking for a husband. I'm looking for a spirit partner that understands that this is a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure called Planet Earth, and we are not going to play husband and wife where we, to death do us part, because we don't die, we pass on, okay? Or for rich or poor, because you can be rich, you just need to change your thoughts. People that are poor have poverty consciousness. People that are depressed have depressive thoughts. End of story. People that are healthy have healthy thoughts, and they have a healthy lifestyle because of that. So in this app, we have done things that nobody else has ever done with an app to actually create a Braveheart Nation. And this app will, like I said, anybody can go in. It's bhnapp.com. They can make their suggestions. Dr. Wolf, we'd like to see this. Dr. Wolf, this isn't working. Do you think maybe you'd like to do this? And if somebody knows something better. But we have this app was created by a total female team. Female team. Mm-hmm. I was not going to let any males touch it. Okay? All right?
And it helps you find your perfect partner? Is that what you're saying too?
Yeah, well, yeah, because guess what? If you just want to go pick a partner because of the look, okay, then you're going to be in trouble, okay? You want to pick a partner that actually, you know what? Let's put it this way. Lori, my partner, okay, we have stuff that everybody has that blows up, and blows up in our face. But we got this. We don't lose it. We don't lose our stuff. It doesn't matter what goes on. We're not losing it, because that's what they want you to do, is to lose it. So this is a place for people that really want people that have done the work. They have done the reprogramming. They have really worked on their spirit. This is where, if somebody is having a bad day or things aren't going right, they're not going to take it out on their partner or out on their children. This is where we have unconditional love. This is where we do not judge, where we observe. This is where we do not punish, but we sit down and educate. So understand, that's the whole philosophy. What people don't get is every school out there that was government approved is a Rockefeller Rothschild school, which is basically a parasite school. And you're just, and look, Hugh, I don't have a job. I never want a job. I don't want to go to work. I don't want a job. I'm never going to work. Because if you have a job and you're going to work, you just can't wait to get home. Okay? The reality is we need to find our passion and our purpose. If we're not happy, we're crappy. And if you're not happy, you bring your vibe down. And if you bring your vibe down, you will not be at ease. You will have a disease. And then guess what? If you're if you've been dumbed down, because think about it, you can go all the way through school, from kindergarten all the way through to become a medical doctor, and spend a half an hour about nutrition. And it's just about vitamins A, B, C, D, which is not even in my teaching. I have a course called Whole Life Health Coach, and I'll tell you, I have doctors coming, naturopaths coming, chiropractors, lay people coming, and everybody says the same thing. In 9 days, I've learned more about health than my whole career. And that's the reality, because it's not how much you learn, it's what you learn. And it better be all self-empowering, because if it's not self-empowering, you can't share it and heal your family or heal anybody else. I already told you, I guarantee that I will bring the vibration to the person, but they have to take that vibration on. They can't come to me because they want somebody else to confirm that they have a genetic disorder when there are no genetic diseases, Hugh. It's all
Right.
BS. Cancer's not genetic. Heart disease is not genetic. Diabetes isn't genetic. So guess what? People aren't stupid. They were set up. If I told you had a genetic disease and you're going to go to the doctor, is there a cure yet? There's no cure anywhere. The only cure is creating a perfect day, okay, on an emotional, physical level, from the time you wake up till you go to sleep. And you do that every day until you never have to think about it, because now it's in your subconscious. You win the world. That's it.
So how do you teach people to do that, though? Because it's one thing to, come in, you've got a condition or an illness or something, and a normal doctor would just give you some drugs or something like that. But
so you're saying that I'm an abnormal doctor?
No.
I was kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is that it's like, because what you're saying is it's the attitude that is so important, and in fact, is a big factor, maybe the main factor in whether a person is healthy or not. So when people come and they have this low frequency vibration, or they come only hoping to have their illness or their fears confirmed about their illness, that they're not well, it's like the real prescription there seems to me it's the mindset change.
It's education. It's education. And that's why, and this is not a pitch, but that's why, if you look at my pdgfree.com, that's my guide. That's a 560-page guide. And I guarantee you, and I will tell anyone out there, I challenge you to look at that. You will get more health information that is actually real, that you can take massive personal action right away, and you can take your life back, and you don't need me. So I gave you something free that'll be the most valuable thing you've ever done in health, but you got to love yourself enough to open up that page and read it. And then I have my DACA Detox library that has 24 master classes that prove that cancer is emotional, that proves that you can reverse the irreversible, that scar tissue and calcification is the only disease in the body, and they're called physical blocks that stop your circulation, that cause the stagnation, that cause the putrefaction, that create the inflammation, that cause the mutation. And it's just the domino effect of BS, belief systems.
Okay, so that was that website, and I'm going to put all the links down below for people too. But that was pdgfree.com.
Yes.
And you said, so what is it that people can go there? You said there's something free that they can get there. I know you got
pdgfree.com will give them the most powerful manual they've ever, right from an eye infection to an ear infection, from your rectum to your mouth to your joints to your muscles. It's all in there. And it's not about sales pitching you. I've got my nutraceuticals in there, but it's all strategies. People can look at the dis-ease they have, and they can go and take a look and go, oh my God, I do have that personality. Or they can look at their personality and they can look at what diseases they're going to get, because the psychological creates the biological. That's the end of it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then Sunday, let's talk about Sunday in Toronto, because people watching this who are in Toronto or going to be in Toronto, I guess, do you have room? Can people sign up and come and see this weekend?
Yeah, we've got room for 150, and it's free. And
Okay.
It starts at, they can come as early as 9:30 in the morning and take a look at things. And we start at 10 o'clock, and then it ends at 3 o'clock, and then we're out of there by 4. And if they go to braveheartnation.com, they can register, or they can call Magdalena. I don't have her phone number here, but it's right on braveheartnation.com. And she is the host, and she is She is a master practitioner. She has a Cellsonic. She does non-surgical. She does consultations, and she's right near this place. It's at the what's it called again? The Monte Carlo Casino Hotel.
Okay.
Yeah.
What,
And it's,
go ahead, but I just wanted the address if you had it.
no, I don't have it, but it's if they go to braveheartnation.com or bhnuniversity.com, they will actually get the address. And what we're going to be doing, Hugh, is I'm going to show them, and they can, and people can challenge me. I want them to challenge me. Well, my doctor said that I can't. That I will have this for life. I want them to come and challenge me. And also, people that, let's say, doctor says they need surgery, we're going to be doing 5 to 10 minute Wolf non-surgical and prove to them that guess what? They don't need surgery in most cases. How about 97% out of 100? So I will prove to people that they could have had a pain for years and years, and even they're limping when they come in, okay? And I'll prove to them that they're not limping when they leave, okay? And let me tell you something. Not just doctors have been screwed over. Chiropractors, okay? Massage therapists, acupuncturists, they're not right on the money. Okay, remember, you want to remember something. Liver cirrhosis is scar tissue. Okay, all right. An inflamed liver is a fatty liver and from inflammation. Do you understand that, if you have to have knee surgery, that's only scar tissue and calcification. We can get the calcium back in the bones and we can turn that scar tissue and you can grow back your cartilage. Did you get that? Now, you're not told that by anybody. Let me tell you something. Most of the body workers do not know this information. Okay? And I'm telling you, they don't. If you go to my library and watch Reverse the Irreversible, it'll blow your mind. I'll show you the whole domino effect of how you go from a limp to a cane to a walker to a wheelchair to the nursing home when you never had to go. The whole thing's a setup.
Yeah. And what about things like lower back problems?
Well, lower back problems.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
No, there's only one big thing, and that's it. Everything is due to bowel problems, and you can believe it or not. Then you're going to tell me you don't have any, and then I'm going to tell you, well, why don't you poop with me? And you'll find out you do.
Bowel problems? You mean back problems are bowel problems?
Well, what does most people have a problem with? Their low back, correct? Yes or no? Low back, yes? Okay.
Yeah,
sure. And the problem is L3, L4, and L5. And what happens is you will get scar tissue and calcification there, and it starts to fuse. Well, that's because of the inflammation from the infection because you were pooping in your pelvis. Now, you need to understand that there is antibiotics in all animal products that are and byproducts that are not organic. You need to understand that. There is glyphosate in even organic wine. There's glyphosate in organic beer. There's glyphosate almost everywhere. Glyphosate and antibiotics actually create the yeast in your large intestine to go to fungus, and they're called drobit predators. We all know about candida fungus. Well, you can have vaginitis, you can have eczema, you can have psoriasis, you can have sinusitis, you can have Alzheimer's. I can keep going if you want, but it's all about fungus and it's all about pooping in the pelvis. Let me ask you a question. Somebody says that, oh my God, I went to my doctor and he said that I have E. coli. Okay, in my bladder, they tested me, or E. coli in my kidneys. Where's E. coli come from? Comes from the bowel. How could you have any problem in your body unless you were pooping in your pelvis? And understand, whether you believe this or not, it's pooping in the pelvis and it's parasites. 99 out of 100 people have parasites to the point that it is killing them, and they don't even know it. Skin rashes, headaches, lethargy, obesity. But, it's all about infection, okay? Remember something.
Of parasites,
if you don't have circulation, if you don't have circulation, you're a swamp. What came first, the mosquito or the swamp? The swamp. So don't tell me about bacteria matters and viruses matter. No, they didn't come until you became a swamp. And you know what? You grow what the environment dictates, and the environment is based on frequency. Oh, here we are back at that again.
Hey, sorry, I'm just thinking about the whole these parasites, right? Because I remember when I was a kid, I remember my mom gave me something, and it was some kind of thing to make sure there was no worms, right? They used to do that. That was like a regular thing, right? Now, and you're saying now they don't. And then the whole thing with ivermectin, which apparently was a horse dewormer. Well, no wonder it works on COVID, even though you're not supposed to say that, because it's getting rid of parasites, right? And I think
Bingo.
that when we hear about the medical authorities declaring lockdowns or whatever for the social distancing for the pandemic, when they're unwilling to look at alternative theories about what's causing this is the biggest problem with science, because science and medicine has the hubris to think they've already got all the answers.
No, they know they have no answers, and they don't want to have. That's not true. You just got sucker punched. Okay? They know they don't have answers. They're not supposed to get answers, because if there was answers, we would set our people free. So let's make that clear. And the other thing is I'm not interested in doing parasite cleanses. I'm interested in creating a perfect day for someone. And you never have to do a parasite cleanse again. You don't have to do a bacterial cleanse again. You don't have to do a bowel cleanse or a liver cleanse again. If you lived a perfect day, and you can live a perfect day on this toxic planet, even though they're trying to poison everything, we can still do it. Remember, there is a God, but you have to take massive personal action and team up with that energy.
Yeah. So, I mean, is that what you're going to be? I mean, do you teach people how to do that, or?
That's what we do. And then we have people coming from all over the world, because my main office is in Ixtapas, Zihuatanejo, and they will come there from anywhere from 10 days to 6 weeks. We have what's called DOD 5-star resort. It's a retreat where people come and they learn to live a perfect day. And if they don't want to do that, they can come down. They can get the Wolf Non-Surgical, the Cellsonic, the Cardio Med Bed. Look, we can take somebody with a 93% blockage, which people go, well, it's impossible. And in 37 hours on a Cardio Med Bed and just doing the perfect day diet there, listen to me, 37 hours on a Cardio Med Bed doing a perfect day diet, in 6 weeks, we have a brand new set of arteries in that person's heart. They didn't go to surgery. And whether you're talking about impotence, whether you're talking about, let me think here, neuropathy, whether you're talking about, I need hip replacement, I need to go for back surgery, we give a money back guarantee that on the first treatment, we're going to prove to them, because we're going to reduce their pain usually about by 80% and increase their range of motion. And they go, oh my God, this is unbelievable, right? That's the deal.
I mean, that cardio thing sounds promising, especially because, I mean, how many times do we hear about a person, they're fine, they're healthy, and then all of a sudden they keel over, they're dead from a heart attack. They didn't even see it coming, right? No. And this is something, I guess, that with our modern lifestyles, the toxins in the environment, the kind of foods we get, probably anybody who's getting older is dealing with, and they may not be aware of it, but they're putting plaque on their arteries and their heart and stuff like that.
Yeah, but plaque is just cholesterol and calcium and scar tissue. And the reality is, if you don't mind me saying, the whole cholesterol thing is BS.
Yeah.
There is no bad cholesterol. And statins, they're the worst thing for people. And guess what? You can prove it scientifically if you do your homework. There is no bad cholesterol. The cholesterol they say is bad cholesterol is just being moved back into the liver because it's not needed. People have been duped from the beginning of time, and it's going to go on forever because people watch TV.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about it because, even I remember my grandfather, right? He would eat margarine because it was supposed to be better for his heart, right? So how many times have we been told that things are a certain way by the medical establishment, and then we find out later that that was completely wrong?
Everything. Yeah. Everything's been a lie, and everything starts off with a good intention, and then once it becomes popular, then the tobacco industry that owns all the food corporations now buys that product and then starts putting seed oils in it, starts putting fillers in it, and natural flavors, which are chemicals, and they're allowed to say natural flavors. So the whole thing is, the reality is you cannot shop at a supermarket and be healthy. And people are going, what do you mean? I'm telling you, you can't. And that's what we teach. And we teach people how to be healthy, how to save money, and how to energize themselves and cut their grocery bill down by half at least.
Look at that. So, okay. So Sunday in Toronto, we'll put all the links below in the info, but
sure.
I mean, I'm thinking that if somebody's got, it sounds like if any kind of illness people are facing, they would benefit by coming to see you. But I'm also thinking, like healthy people, or people that think they're healthy anyway, they want to think in terms of health in the long run.
Well,
You know,
the
like
reality
preventative
is,
actions and that sort of thing.
the reality is this, okay? And I'm not putting them down, but the medical system cannot deal with autoimmune disease or chronic illness. Their fail rate. They can only deal with 911 emergencies, like somebody fell down the stairs or there was a car accident. I don't base my business on critical care or chronic care. It's just there's so much of it out there right now. We base our business on teaching people and families and couples how they can have the most beautiful life. I'm not out there to just fix people. We're out there to make sure that people do not fall into this trap, okay? Mm-hmm. Because it's the biggest lie never told, okay?
Okay, absolutely. All right. So, okay.
Hugh, if I could, can I get my phone number in case somebody does want to call me?
Absolutely. Yeah.
469-861-8884. And you can call me direct. That is a USA phone number. Or you can call me on WhatsApp, or you can text me there. And just know that I will get back to you. I get back to everybody, Hugh. And just know that we get back to everyone. Because guess what, Hugh? This isn't some kind of BS pitch, but everybody matters, Hugh. Everybody matters. Okay?
Okay. All right. Yeah. So and I'll put the phone number down below too, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's great.
And I'll put all the websites down there, and people can register, come and see you this Sunday, and otherwise go to your websites and just get access to all that healing info. And they can come visit you in Mexico.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, they'll love it. Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo. And come on down, and just know this, everyone. How would you like to buy a whole quart of organic juice for $5? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Amazing. So pdgfree.com. We got that running along the bottom. And where are you going after Toronto?
Okay. So after Toronto, I have to go. I'm actually doing a 4-day intensive training for some medical people on how to actually use Wolf Non-Surgical and what's called a Cellsonic to actually pull fibroids and tumors apart. Okay? All right. And then from there, I will be going to Mexico and then back to our clinic and to our DOD 5-star. And then I'm only there for 3 weeks, and then I go to Australia, do a 5-week tour there, lecturing all around Brisbane, Coffs Harbour, Melbourne, Sydney, Byron Bay, and then we're going to do a whole life coach certification where lay people come, professionals come. It's a 9-day emotional, nutritional, physical, intense training, and then we take a day off, and then we teach what's called Wolf Non-Surgical for 12 days to anyone who wants to learn it, from massage therapists to nurses to lay people. We open everything to everyone. And then we do a 3-day woman's masterclass on the pelvis. Okay? It's called pelvic restoration. And then from there, I go to, when I finish the whole life coach, I go to New Zealand. I'll be in New Zealand and I'll be there for 5 days. I'm going to be doing lecturing. And 2 different groups around the island, they've asked me to come over. So that was just last night. And then from there, I have a training I got to do on the island in Vancouver Island. So then I go there and do a training there, and then I fly back to Mexico, right? And then I get back to Mexico, and then in September, we do all our courses in Ixtapa, Zihuatanejo, Mexico. Actually, it's in October. And I want to be there, and I want to settle down in Mexico, because I really believe just before the election, all hell's going to break loose, and I'd rather be on the beach. I'd rather be on the beach, you.
Yeah. It's going to be a crazy year by the sound of it, and it's amazing you're so busy. But that's we're just lucky to have you coming to Toronto this weekend. So
Thank you, my friend.
Great to talk to you. Have a good flight and all the best, and we'll see you soon.
Be well, and thank you. It's been a pleasure, and it always is. Bye now.
Thanks. All right. Okay, we're going to take a little break. We'll be back with more right after this here on CareVisionTV.channel.com.